Hey guys, as far as I know, I think that I'm actually live streaming here. I've never done anything like this before. If it is working, I'm sure there's a lot of kinks I'm going to have to work out in the system. But anyway, I thought I would give this a shot. For some reason, recently people have been subscribing to my YouTube channel. I assume it's mostly because of this one particular video on solving or getting your computer to solve a maze for you using graph theory. But I'm always working on these little creative projects in my early mornings whenever my family's still asleep. And it's a lonely endeavor, and I thought I would just try live streaming it and see if anybody wants to join me, either for educational purposes or just to come along for the ride, or if somebody wanted to partner on a project that they found interesting, or take what I'm doing and make it even better. So I don't know. I thought I might give this a shot. Maybe I'll do this. I work quite a few mornings. A lot of times, half the time I'm just learning, so I'm reading books or watching videos and trying to expand my skill set. And a lot of times I'm just trying to do something creative with what I'm learning. So that's what I'm doing this morning. I thought today I would try to work on creating these circular HUD elements. So if you don't know what a HUD element is, it's basically like circle HUD element. And it's elements like this, which look pretty cool. And I've got this program that I've shown a few times on this channel with this like graph editor program, and it's got these nodes and edges, and the nodes are just circles right now. And so I was thinking about trying to create something that can generate HUD elements, and either picking one style for the nodes, or maybe even having the program generate the nodes randomly, so that each node has its own style, and possibly in the future even animating the node somewhat. So like, for example, if you click on it, instead of it just turning blue, maybe it spins around or something. So we're going to need probably 3 different JavaScript formulas for that. I've got one that draws a line, because if you look at those HUD elements, some of them have lines extending from the middle out. That's a pretty common symbol in these things. I don't see any there. Maybe if I go to images over here in Google, and let's see, so this one has kind of that idea where these lines are coming out from the middle. That's an interesting way to do it. This one has some kind of spokes coming out. And the other obviously is arcs and circles. So let's see, we're going to have an arc method which can draw a whole circle. And then we're going to want to use the random function, because we're not going to want these to be uniform, obviously. So, and if we're going to generate these, we don't want to have to decide how large the arc should be. So, oh, those are interesting. I don't know if I'm going to be able to create something like that by the end of this video, but hopefully we'll be able to create something that can generate, well, maybe something this simple. But we'll see. Anyway, so I've never done anything like this either. This is a new kind of coding project for me, and maybe it will just totally fail. Let's see, I don't need that. And this how to draw a line program in JavaScript has got a pretty nice little HTML. Like, it's got the whole code pretty much to create the canvas, and then you're supposed to put in your script here, but I'm going to be lazy and just put my script right here. I don't need another file for it, because this is not going to be a huge script or anything. So we do not need a separate source for that. Okay, so we've got a 400 by 500 canvas, and we do have a viewport set. There is a title, and we're not drawing a line. We're not going to do styling. So let's get rid of that. And I might as well circle HUD elements, even though this isn't going to be like a live web page or anything. Circle HUD generator actually. I put that because if I come back to this a year later and I have no idea what it was, that might help me. And then we'll create a button. I mean, an on-click will be some function. Generate, I guess. So I'm guessing that's something that will be useful later on down the line, and we'll say generate. And so in our script we'll need a generate function. Oh, and I'm not up with all the fancy new JavaScript. I just kind of wing it as I go. Let me check here. I think there's supposed to be... Oh, live chat is unavailable. Interesting. Not really sure why that is. It's something I'll have to figure out. Okay. So what would it be? I think const generate equals this and then an arrow function. And let's see, what is it? Console.log. I worked. So let's see if that is even working. So, well, we've got that. How big is that canvas? I don't even see our button. Maybe I should move that up above. And it should be visible as far as I can tell. Let's try that again. Oh, why has this got such a huge space below it? That's interesting. And it seems that the canvas is still above. So what is going on? This H1 element. Oh, and there's the button. Seems to be behind because now that it's updated. And there's our canvas, and let's look at our console. And if I hit generate, oh great, okay, so it's working. So I'll maybe try to use these fancy arrow functions here. Okay. So there's how we draw a line. Maybe we should go ahead and create a line function because we don't want to have to go through this whole setup every time. And in fact, we should probably have a window.onload function to set up some of those like initial variables. So window.onload equals function. It's been a while since I've done this, so I hope that's the right syntax. I guess we're going to have a const canvas equals. I've never done this with a query selector. Am I really that behind on JavaScript? I just use document.get element by ID. And then what's our canvas ID is canvas. Oops. And we'll do const ctx equals canvas.get context. That should be enough, I think. Okay, so whenever we load it, let's see if that loads correctly. So, is there a ctx variable? ctx is not defined because I didn't define these things globally. Actually, let's just say let canvas ctx. Or maybe I should go ahead and keep them as const. And then let's put these in here. Okay, so now we should have a global canvas in context. have to do that, so we'll just say left. I could probably just define them outside of the window.onload because this shouldn't take very long to load, but okay, we got it anyway. It should probably be a const, but I don't think that's going to harm us either, because this is going to be a pretty small program. Okay, so let's set up a function to draw a line so that we don't have to go through this whole begin path line. And pretty much we're going to be drawing in black, so I'm not even going to set up a color. So let's say window.onload, we're going to even set the ctx.stroke style should be equal to black, and maybe eventually we'll get to some color, but at least initially. Now what is the fill style? So JavaScript ctx fill style. I know ctx isn't, it's just a variable name, but it's so common. I'm sure this will work. So fill style. I just want it to be sure. Fill style equals black. I should probably pay for that, I guess, at some point. So just on the free version of Sublime Text. So, cool. Everything should be good, and we want a line function. So, const line equals, and we'll pretty much just want x1, y1, and x2, y2. So, how to draw a line in JavaScript. We don't really care about that. Oh, maybe we want the width. Oops, W for width. So we're going to say ctx.line width equals W. Ctx.begin path. Ctx.move to x1, y1. ctx.line to x2, y2. Maybe I should mention that I know that there are libraries that that have these functions for you, like p5.js or something, but I'm just working with vanilla JavaScript here. And we could just say for educational purposes, or just because sometimes I just like to rebuild things from scratch, because this is just for fun. Let's see, so we have a canvas sized 400 by 500, and we have a generate. Let's do this. Set the console.log. We're going to do a line from 50, 50 to 200, 300 or something. Doesn't matter, but there we go. 300. Oh my gosh, I forgot the curly bracket somewhere. Oh. I forgot an arrow function because I'm messing around with these arrow functions. It's coming back to bite me already. Okay, seems that that's working. Generate, sweet, I got a line. Okay, next thing would be to make something that's going to be easy to draw, a circle and an arc. So we're going to do const arc. Equals. Need some input. And let's see, so we don't really need this anymore. That's all I wanted to get from that. Another from the arc. This one looks pretty easy. I almost don't even need a function in here for this, because it's pretty much just one function. But I mean, I guess it's got the begin path and the stroke. And we may want a stroke versus a fill, so I guess we'll go ahead and create a function. Oh, my alarm is going off. I don't know if that got picked up by anything, but time to wake up. So, let's see. What I'm going to want is an X and a Y, and a radius, and start angle, and end angle. And so it's going to wrap up all this begin path. Arc, so it's pretty much X, Y, R, start angle, end angle, and CTX dot stroke. Oh, and we should probably draw one, just this dot. So let's try to draw an arc that's going to be at 100, 100, and then let's make a radius of 30, and we're going to go from 0 to math.pi. And maybe, and so, since we don't probably want to have to write math.pi a bunch of times, yeah, it's fine, we'll leave it. So we'll just work in radians. I was going to say we could convert it to a degree function. And what kind of errors do we get with this one? Oh yeah. All my inputs should come over here. Okay. Oh, it's not complaining. And we got an arc. Sweet. Okay. And then we probably want to be able to draw a full circle too. And then I think I'm just gonna do a const circle. And then for this we just want X, Y, and R. So it's going to pretty much be the same thing as the arc function, and in fact we could just do arc since we've already defined that, and it's going to be X, Y, and R, but we're going to go, oh no, because I want to fill. Okay, let's just, I thought I could be efficient there. So we want to go from 0 to 2 times math.pi, so that's the whole way around the circle, 2pi, and we're going to do ctx.fill. Okay, and then our generate function is going to be, you know what, let me move this window.onload, or maybe I should move the generate function, because it's getting kind of lost in the middle of a bunch of functions. I'll move it to the bottom so that that's where we're doing most of our work, and we can just scroll down here and find it easily. So we've got an arc. Let's do a circle. It's going to be at 100, 100, and it's going to have a radius of 20. Okay, I have to hit generate. Alright, sweet. So, that gives us a pretty good start. Now let's take a moment and just comment the stuff a little bit. Globals. This will just be the onload function. Should be, I guess, just our basic, let's say basic shapes. I don't know. And this is the generate function. And then we need randomness. We'll get there. And that's a pretty good first step, I think. So let's get rid of our generate function for now. And let's see, so the randomness, we're going to use this math.random, which returns a number between 0 inclusive and 1 exclusive. So something from 0 to 0.999999 up to whatever that is for a floating point value. As many nines as you can fit in a float. So we want probably numbers between 0 and 2 pi. So let's see, const, we're going to say like maybe arc random equals, oops, I don't really need to take anything, so equals an arrow function. And this is going to be return 2 times math.pi times math.random. Okay, so that gives us a random number between 0 and 2 pi, because this math.random is from 0 to 1, and then when we multiply that by 2 pi, 0 would give us 0, 1 would give us 2 pi, and anything between would give us something from 0 to 2 pi. So the way this is going to work, we've got to answer a couple questions to make sure we understand how our arc function is working. So let's take an arc, we'll set it at 100, 100, and a radius of 30. You know, what's interesting is we probably want a width for that too. And I'm guessing it's going to be just line width, same as the line, so let's go ahead and copy that over. We're going to throw in one more parameter. So we're going to have xy radius, a width, a start angle, and an end angle. So we'll do xy 30, our width, let's just put 2. And then we're going to go from 0 to math.pi over 2. Pi over 2, so that's 90 degrees. And let's just make sure we get the direction first of all. So I know we've done this before, but I wasn't really observing it. So, okay, it looks like we're starting here and going that way around. So we're going clockwise around the circle, starting at this point here. Okay. And then what if I reverse that? So my guess is if I reverse from math.pi over 2 to 0, maybe I'll be going in this direction, but it'll be the same arc. And it'll just start at this point and then go here. But let's test it out. What if I get math.pi over 2 to 0? So the reason I'm testing this is I want to know if order matters. That way if we're generating random angles, I know if I need to find which angle is the smaller of the two to get what I'm trying to do to come out right. So let's see. No, it is different. So it's still going clockwise, but it's also going from the same points that we had before. So now it goes from math.pi over 2 to 0 around this way. So that's good to know. So for example, if I was trying to create two different arcs, and I want them both to be a small segment of the circle, then I do need to make sure that they're in the right order. Otherwise, one of them is going to be a very large segment of the circle. And the other thing that I need to know is what happens if I'm already around the circle. So let's just say that I'm at math.pi plus this, let's do 2 times pi. And then I go to math, 2 times math.pi. So 2 pi goes all the way around the circle. So here we're at pi over 2 to 0. What if I would have already gone around a whole loop around the circle and then gone to math.pi over 2 and then put in that whole loop around the circle? Is that going to do anything strange, or does it just ignore those loops? So generate, that's the same. What if I again put this one over here? Okay, that's the same. And what if I put in 0? In this case, I think it should go from 0, and now it's going all the way around and to that point, so it should just be a full circle, since it's more than pi over 2. But I guess there is a chance that this function is just throwing away, like, is modding, in a sense, by the pi over 2 parts, and so it's just going to see this as 0 to just pi over 2. So let's make sure we know exactly what it's doing. Interesting, so it just ignores the pi over 2 part, so it's not looking at going around the circle. That might be an issue, but I guess we'll see. Okay, so we're going to want to generate random arcs. So that's our arc random. Let's see. So we can let s angle equal an arc random, and then let end angle equal an arc random. And we will draw this arc from S angle to end angle. Oh yeah, I'm not clearing the screen. So I think we're just drawing over. I was thinking I was getting full circles the whole time. That's something I probably should have had up here, because of course I'm going to use that. So a rectangle, setting fill style. I had to look that up. Well, we've got all that stuff that we need. Okay, so let's say JavaScript canvas clear. We want to be able to clear a rectangle. That's just this, yeah. Clear rect. So when we generate, let's clear whatever is there in the first place, and then just draw on a blank canvas. So okay, we're getting somewhere. Let's see. So first, what we could do is something really simple at this point. We probably want to create some elements. So randomness, and then we'll have elements. And let's say just const. Let's see, we have an arc function. I don't know how I'm doing with my naming here. And then we have an arc random, which is going to give us something from 0 to 2 pi, which is nice to use for our arcs. I guess we'll just call it an arc else, and maybe we'll name everything that's an element with the end ELT. So we know that we're talking about an element. And it should basically do something like what we just did. So we're going to have a random start and a random end. What I'd also like to do is randomly rotate it. And so now we know it's ignoring things that are bigger than 2 pi, which is nice. So we don't have to worry about, like, if we end up having something that's bigger than 2 pi, we don't have to, like, mod that or something to get it between 0 and 2 pi. So we've got a start and end, and we're going to let like a rotation angle equal arc random. So we're going to get 3, and we're going to add a rotation angle. So it's not always starting Actually, oh, it's from 0 to 2 pi. I don't know why this looks like something I would think I would not be able to generate. Oh yeah, because it doesn't matter, or it does matter, whether it's the bigger or the smaller angle. So this is only happening because the smaller one is second and the bigger one is first. And so I don't think I even need to do this. It was something I thought I would have to do to rotate the angle around before. So actually, that's not even necessary. Cool. Okay. And an arc element. So we need really an X and a Y. And a radius and a width. That's all we're messing with now. And what we're going to do is a circle, maybe in the middle. And so for our circle, we just need X, Y, R. So we'll put it, let's draw everything at like 50-50. In fact, let's define those. Let X center equal 50, and let's let the Y center equal 50. So we've got X center, Y center. Now then we need a radius, and we'll just say like 15. And then how about 4, let I equal 16, I is less than 31, I plus plus. So this will give us numbers 16 to 30. And that's probably too much, but let's just see what we get here. I'm going to do arc alt at X center, Y center. And the radius shall be I, and the width will be 2. Well, maybe we need 1 in this case. Actually, we probably do 2, and we should probably put I equals I plus 2. We'll go by 2's. And that's all that we need, and let's see how that looks. These guys are getting me element. And look at that, we're getting something that looks like a HUD element. That's pretty cool. Alright. So we're getting something like these. It's not quite the same. We're missing a couple of different things. One is the widths change on some of these. Another is the spoke sticking out. And another one is that sometimes there's several on the same circle. I don't see any here, but sometimes they have a nice like repetition even, so those look kind of like random. And I think what we're going to want to do is define a few different elements. So this element we have is probably our most simple one. It's just an arc. And so we have an arc. And I don't know, it's always uncomfortable a little bit using while loops, but maybe we should do a while loop. So let's just say, how about this? Let current radius equal 16. Yeah, those are probably something that we could send in. So let's actually do a const circ alt is going to equal x, y, r. Oh, and then cr CR for our current radius. And what we're going to do on that case is draw a circle. It's going to have XY radius, and then we're going to return R plus the current radius. So the circle is just going to fill up a circle of radius R in the center. And then what we are going to do is start with the current radius of 0. So let CR equal 0, and then I guess it's a bunch of spaces. We're going to say the current radius is equal to the current radius plus whatever the circle returns. And so in this case it's going to return 15 because I'm putting in 15 for the radius. Oh, and then we got to send in CR itself. Okay, and now then, so we're not going to define this, it's just, that's what it is. Oh, but we might want to return this plus 1, because we filled in. This might be a special one where we don't really need to pass in the current radius, because this would always be the first one if it happens at all. So let's just put R plus 1, because it's filled in everything, so there's no point trying to draw under that, I think. Okay, and then we want this arc element to also take in the current radius. You know what? This should also just take whatever the radius is. I don't need to add in a current radius, but what we're going to return is R plus the width, the line width. So if the line width is 2, we need to increase by 2. Yeah, so we don't need to pass in the current radius, really. That should just be in the radius. Let's see, while CR is less than 30, say, we're going to do CR equals CR plus arc out of XC, YC. So we need a radius, which would be CR, and then for the width, we'll for now just put 2. Okay, so what is going on here is that we're just keeping track of the current radius in this variable CR, and the radius of this arc will be equal to whatever the current radius is, because we're passing that in, and it's going to return that radius plus the width of the arc so that it expands out 2 pixels, which is basically what we were doing before. But this one has errors, so that's wonderful. Let's see. So this equals that arrow function. I always forget my arrows. And that doesn't work. So do I have anything in my console? No. Why is that not working? Is my circle too big? My circle is at 15. And that should set, oh. I don't need that. Let me make sure this is incrementing the way that I'm expecting. That could be an issue. What else could be an issue? So meaning CR equals CR plus arc element XY, that radius, and 2. Is there anything going wrong in here? It doesn't look like there should be. Confusing. Okay, let's see. Undefined. Did I not return? I did return. +1. Why would that be undefined? What is that? Line 82. Console.log cr. Oh, wait, it's because I'm not running the circle element function, and that's why that didn't print. Because it was just running a circle. Okay, well, we got something. That looks wrong, but, oh, I jumped all the way from 16 to 34, so what did I do? Let's see, so that's running fine. I need to turn it off. And the circle element, but the arc, let's see. So, oh, I'm returning the radius plus the width, and then I'm adding the radius again down here. I don't need to do that. It's in the function, so. Sweet, okay. So we're generating these weird looking things. It's interesting that some of them look as if they are on the same line. But that is counting up by 2s as expected, so I don't know. Okay, so now then here would be an easy one. That's a circle element, an arc element. What if we just want a blank row? So const blank elt. I guess we'll pass in the xy. That's a little bit annoying. I should probably figure out a way to just set it once instead of having to pass the xy in every single time. And R and W. And what this will do is return R plus W, so it doesn't draw anything. And then what we're going to do in this while loop is pick elements. So let's let a chooser equal math.random. So now then the chooser is something between 0 and 1. You could think of it as a percent, and maybe 90% of the time. So if chooser is less than 0.9, we're going to draw this arc. And the other 10% of the time we'll do a blank element, which would leave some space between our arcs. So that's an easy one. And we'll define a few different elements, and that's how we can generate these. So let's save that, generate, and hey, look, we get some blank space sometimes. Okay, so what was I thinking? Oh, we haven't done anything with the widths either. So right now the width is 2. For the blank, let's just say let, how should I use this? I guess I haven't actually used W here. I hate to use the word width because it's probably in something like this canvas.widths. We've got W's all over the place too as function inputs. So we've got chooser. We can divide that up. But that would get too confusing. So I don't know. We'll just say I'll just call it WW. for this like temporary little width variable. Let WW equal, so now what we're going to do is a math floor of 2 times math.random. So what is this doing? We're taking the math.random, that's 0 to 1, and if you multiply that by 2, you're going to get something from 0 to 2, but it's going to be a decimal point value, and I'm wanting to work with integers here. So when I for that, that means take the lowest integer value, or like whole number value, less than the decimal. So if I get something like 0.7, then when I floor it, I'm just going to go down to 0. If I get 1.6, then when I floor that, I get rid of the decimal part, so it just becomes 1. So that would give me 0 or 1. I want to add 1 to that. And now that I'm getting something that's either 1 or 2, and I'll make that the width of this. So we'll get a blank spot that's between 1 and 2, with a 50-50 chance, which is fine for me right now. And then here we're going to do the same thing, but these widths maybe could go up to 4. So let's make this 4 times math.random. So now we're going to get something, oh I guess it should be 3. Right, that would get me something from 0 to 2, no, I guess it should be 4, yeah. So that's going to give me something from 0 to 3, and then I add 1, so 1 to 4. And this will be WW. And that should work because it's set up to already account for the width whenever it's going up to the next level as it's generating. So let's see what that looks like. There should be a little bit of randomness in the thicknesses of these lines. And you know what, for now, let me make this circle a little smaller. So first I add a circle element of 15. Let's add the circle element, let's just make it 10. Cool, so we can also let that be random, so let init w, and in fact let's not even define a variable for this, let's just make it in here. So this is going to be at least 1, but I probably want it to be more than 1. Let's say we're going to have a circle of at least 8 plus math.random. Oh, and we need math.floor. Math.random, and maybe we'll do 12 plus that, so that should give me something from 8 to 11 plus 8 is 19. Maybe that's a bit much. Let's take off 4 of that, so maybe 8. And this is flu, math.floor. Okay, so the inner circles are different sizes. Let's see, this whole thing, we've got a clear rect, and then we define the center. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a couple of these, because it's hard to kind of see them side by side what they're looking like. Let's see what it looks like if we have several of them. So I guess we'll have a const HUD elt, but I'm not going to put it up with these other element functions because it's not an element of one of these. It's the whole thing. So this we would think of as the whole thing, and we'll have an x and a y. And then I'm going to take this whole thing and stick it in here. And what I want is one HUD elt. Did I get down there? One HUD elt at 50-50, like we've been doing, and we're going to have another HUD elt at maybe 150-50, and another HUD elt at maybe let's say 85, Okay, and then xc will equal x, and the y center will equal y. And what did I miss this time? Const HUD element equals, and I gotta put these on the other side. So as I mentioned earlier, this is the first time I have worked with these functions. Well, usually I just use function because I'm kind of old school and don't keep up with this, the newest JavaScript. As you can probably tell, I'm probably doing other mistakes. But I mostly just program in JavaScript on my own time for fun. It's been a while since I've actually managed a live website, because I work as a data analyst. So missing initializer and const declaration. What are you complaining about now? A blank element? I thought I've been running with this one. Const blank element equals. What's been going on? Did I just see that in my mind and that wasn't working? Okay. Wasn't it like this time? Missing constant and declaration. Oops. I don't understand what that's saying. Misspell something, const this equals that. Just like this. Oh, I just have it off, didn't I? I just caught it. That's okay. So we need a HUD element, and we need x and y. Okay, now it's happy. Generate. Well, I'm not happy. What did it do? Choose is not defined. So I clear rect, and then I just threw everything in here. Chooser. How was any of this working before? Was it? Did I made to save it? Maybe it wasn't even doing what I thought it was doing. Okay, cool. I want to bump this over a little bit and down a little bit. Say 90 and 100. Sweet. I cannot tell that the inner circles are all that different. Maybe I should make that a little more extreme. So maybe that would be why. 8 plus math.random is just going to be pretty much 8 whenever I floor it, because math.random is between 0 and 1. It's supposed to be 8 times math.random, which means that these were all 16. Okay, so they're all like maxed out. I could probably be a little bit bigger than that, so let me put 12. Okay, I might make it a bit bigger by default. Let me say 10 and 10. And also, maybe I want a blank center, so let's see. Let's let center chooser equal math.random if center chooser is less than 0.8, so like 80% of the time we'll have it, let's maybe even say 70% of the time we'll have it do that. So let's just put a blank element in there. So let's see the blank element. Center x, center y. The current radius and the width. So WW is going to be this number. We need this to be the width. Everything else should be fine. So in this case we draw a circle element, in this case we just have a blank. Center choose is not defined. How did I mess that up? Oh. How do I do that every time? So center chooser and center choose. Void chooser and choose. Okay, so some of them have blank in the middle. So that's pretty interesting. I guess I've been doing this for a while now. I have just a little bit more time. Maybe we could try to create another element, but I'm afraid I don't have enough time. Let's see, eventually we're going to want to be able to do determine whether we want spokes sticking out at some point. Maybe different kinds of spokes, so we might want to have a repeated pattern on the same level. And we might want to mess with how many of these we have. So just working with aesthetics, like chooser maybe being 70%, we'll have some more blank space in there. Some of these are, well, they're pretty light, but they might work. And eventually we might want to transform them too, I don't know. Do I have time for that? I probably have maybe 10 or 15 minutes tops. Let's see, CTX transform. I think that's probably one of the more complicated functions because it's going to do it with matrix parameters, but there should be a way to just skew and scale things without having to. So you said transform, there's translate. To begin path. So what would that be called? This is skewing, scaling. So let's see, is there a scale function so I don't have to do an entire so 404. Let's see, so what could be interesting is we do ctx.scale by 0.51, so we'll half the size of x and then keep y the same, and then we'll draw all these elements and then we'll scale it back up. So ctx.scale to 1. See if that works. So this will half the scale, we'll draw the circles the usual size and then scale it back up. I think that's how you do this in JavaScript. I have it in this browser. Generate. No, maybe not. Maybe I just put this as 2-1 and maybe I don't have to do anything here. Although if I were to be drawing elements in the future, I'd probably want to set this back. I'll just keep that there to remember, but okay. Now we've got kind of stretchy HUD elements. If I look at these though, they're mostly just circles. Unless I'm going to try to put them in a perspective or something. Yeah, so I probably won't do something like that. This one's kind of oval shaped. At least the outer part is. These are squished to appear to be in a perspective. But I don't think I'm going to do that. Oh, that might be kind of cool. Let's see, where's my Pathfinder program? Let's see, I could have these as 3D elements coming out. but this is definitely a flat 2D button and a flat 2D writing area. So if you haven't seen this program, this is what I'm going to generate these elements for, is to replace these circles in the program, and then you can write things here, and you can add more content inside. Anyway, I've shown this before elsewhere on my channel, but we probably should redevelop even this whole program within the program. Well, this is a choose your own adventure. It's not code, and you can run actually a choose your own adventure. So you could create a flow diagram and walk through it. But if I were to load one of these, you can program in here, and then if you pick your nodes, you can even pick your nodes. You can generate different versions of the program, so we could have some different versions to test out of how this node program is working. Maybe I'll do that next time I have a chance to actually do something. With work and family, I don't have a lot of time except for waking up super early in the morning. So let's see, generate code, choose a root node, and there's your code. So, okay. But I think that's all for now. I'm going to go ahead and log off. Hope everybody has a good day. Maybe someday somebody will watch this. This will be interesting.